Welcome back to the program. Andrew, I'm guessing it may be a moot point to ask that if you enjoyed growing up in North Queensland in Tully. The area's been in your family for a number of generations now.
I loved it. It was a great lifestyle. We had a lot of extended family members living in the region as well. But I really enjoyed living in North Queensland. I really enjoyed my schooling. It was a great environment. I really had great teachers as well that I have to look up to and count amongst the people who've had a lot of influence on my life. But I also had a great lifestyle as well. I mean, I played cricket in the summer and rugby league in the winter, and we had fishing and camping, swimming in the freshwater creeks. It was just a lifestyle that was really conducive to growing up in a rural and regional area, and I still very much enjoy the lifestyle. I'm glad that I was given an opportunity to go back to North Queensland after I finished my studies and take up a role in community leadership there.
Academia or academic studies encouraged actively in your family, or was it something that you sort of took on yourself?
I'm the first person in my family to do a university course, followed by my brother.
Yep.
To go to university and get a degree. My father's a sugar chemist. He's the chief sugar chemist at Tully Sugar. He went to the technical college over at Gardens Point when it was prior to it becoming QUT to do his diploma in sugar chemistry. But really going to university is something that my family, I was the first generation and the first person to do.
You've certainly excelled yourself in that respect. They must be very proud of your achievements so far.
Oh, I think Mum and Dad probably are very proud of me. I know that they're proud of me. They've told me so, but they expected me to put in an effort as well. They explained that I don't come from a wealthy family, so there was a lot of sacrifices made by my parents to make sure we get every opportunity to get a good education. My brother and I, and certainly we're both very grateful to Mum and Dad for giving us those opportunities.
You mentioned your brother Graham. Where does he fit into the picture? What kind of life is he pursuing?
He's 2 years younger than I, and he went in and did agricultural science at university after, and he is employed in Tully with the in the sugar industry in the productivity board. Does extension work with cane growers in the local area, and but he's done really well. He spent a year overseas in Vietnam volunteering through a federal government aid program, working with farmers in Vietnam, and he's travelled quite a bit as well. And but he's come back to Australia and come back to North Queensland, pursuing his profession there.
The people of Tully look at you as the way that they speak to you, the way that they view you changed, having grown up in the town and being the young star academic and now moving into politics?
No, there's no airs and graces about Tully. I'm not afforded any special recognition or praise. I think the people of Tully generally, the community's proud that I come from that area, and that they see me as a community leader, and they're very welcoming of one of their own. But the familiarity and the fact that they've seen me at my best and my worst, I suppose, growing up there, means that I've got a wonderfully informal relationship with them, and I share their goals and their vision for the community. So it's a very close working relationship, and I think that growing up in that community certainly has helped me understand the values of the community and gives me an advantage in representing them.
Rainfall aside, they don't come much drier than Tully in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, we're always in competition with Babinda for the most rainfall every year. Tully, of course, has the record for the highest rainfall in a single year of 7.9 metres of rain. And that's why we've got the golden gumbo. It's a part of living in Tully is the rain that we get, and we've learnt to live with it. And it's part of the success of the town as well. The industries are all built around it. Our major industries, the sugar industry and the banana industry, are two that really depend on water as an input. That's why it's so successful in the area.
Having never lived in Tully, but having lived in subtropical and tropical environments, what's the actual reality of living in a town where you have over 7 metres of rainfall in a year?
Well, our average is about 4,
Yeah.
but 7.9 was the all-time record.
Yeah.
The reality is that you face a number of challenges, but also a number of opportunities. We don't face the water shortage crises that South East Queensland's faced in previous years. We've got plenty of water, and it's great quality water, and we enjoy the freshwater creeks, and that's part of our lifestyle as well. Humid, hot, tropical summers, we get relief by going to the creeks and the rivers where we can take a dip, and it's a wonderful part of our lifestyle. But it also brings with it the annual flooding and the isolation, sometimes for several days at a time, and it's just part of life. We understand it, and we're used to it, and we've adapted to living in those arrangements.
That's part of the wonderful quirkiness of living in Queensland in a lot of ways, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, you were looking at your record, a Bachelor of Economics, Bachelor of Arts and Political Science with honours. You were a part-time tutor. You were studying your PhD before moving back to Queensland. Why the decision to defer your PhD?
Well, I definitely saw an opportunity to go back to North Queensland.
Yeah.
One of the things that I don't suppose worried me, but was in the back of my mind, that if I was going to get tertiary qualifications, there weren't hundreds and hundreds of jobs back in North Queensland that required degrees in economics and political science. So I thought the opportunities to do things back in the community that I really loved would be limited. So when I got an opportunity to go back with those skills and be part of the community again, I took it straight away without any hesitation.
You still got that PhD in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I do. And sometime down the track, if my circumstances change, I suppose I could always go back and complete that work. But it's not something that I regret, not completing that. I had an opportunity. I weighed up the pros and the cons, and I didn't have any hesitation with taking it.
Yeah, I mean, I might be taking a liberty here, but looking at your record, are you the Andrew Fraser of the LNP, and so far you're the young gun, the star on the rise? You seem to be on the bit of the fast track. Is that a comparison that you've heard before?
No, it hasn't been. It's not one that I want to encourage either, that I'm the Andrew Fraser of the LNP.
Well, you know what I mean, is that Andrew's kind of the young star of the Labor Party, and you're young, you're only 30 now. You've been, seems to me, highlighted as somebody with potential from very early in your involvement in the LNP.
Well, I think it's given me a great opportunity. The party's giving me opportunities to participate in this sort of representative capacity. They've supported me a lot. But equally, I've done it through an interest in politics, and an interest in community representation, and an interest in having a say in how our community is supported and how it progresses. And so I think we're in a partnership with my party that allows me to do what I can do to the best of my ability, and in line with my values and my views about the world.
You happy with the way you've gone so far?
Yeah, I've been given wonderful opportunities, I must say. Coming into the Parliament in September 2006, it was 2 years, and Lawrence Springborg was the first person to invite me to come into the Shadow Cabinet. So I was the Shadow Minister for Natural Resources and Water before the last election. After the election, when we came back, John Paul Langbrook asked me to be the Shadow Minister for Disability Services and Multicultural Affairs, which was a very different and challenging experience for me, one I very much enjoyed. And then since Campbell Newman's become the leader of the LNP, I've gone into the role of Agriculture, Food and Regional Queensland, as you mentioned before, and that's been great as well. I've really enjoyed that role. Certainly
seems a role for which you're ideally suited with the academic studies that you've pursued in the past.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think those studies and some of the environment that I grew up in as well has prepared me well for that, reasonably well. And Dad's involvement with the sugar mill meant that the agricultural sector was putting food on the table when I was growing up and put a roof over our head. So the community in that area really understands that our welfare is dependent on the success of the sugar industry. When I was going through university, obviously I was studying in Brisbane during the semester, but when I wasn't studying during semester, I was home in Tully, and I was either planting cane or working as a labourer on the banana farms in the local area. So it's always been part of my life, and I really understand that it supports regional communities very, very significantly in Queensland. It's also an important part of our economic fabric in the state because we have a huge export income from industries like beef and sugar, and we have a great reputation for the quality, the safe production of our food and the quality of our food and fibre.
Absolutely. My guest on the program this evening is Andrew Cripps. My name is Shaun Bindley, and this is Meet the Ministers. We'll be back after the break.